watch any of the Pro Bowl or the Pro Bowl games or whatever it is that they're calling out? Did you see any of that over the weekend? Nope. Okay, me neither, but I have almost something to say about it. Good morning to you. Good Monday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates in the same place that you found this, and I hope you'll check those out as well. Minkah Fitzpatrick and Miles Killebrew were participants in the Pro Bowl games. I don't actually know what that is now, so I'm not equipped to offer a commentary on it of any kind. But just in seeing that Minkah was there, seeing that Minkah's having a good time, and rightly so, you get picked for that under any circumstance, and it's a great honor and worth fulfilling. Good for both of them, and good for TJ Watt, who wasn't able to go there and compete. But here's what it made me think about. Minkah. You know how many picks he had this year? Yeah, 0. Minkah, you know how much of a real impact he had on the 2023 Steelers? Right, the same. And I'm not here to rip on Minkah. He had a tough year. He didn't have a whole lot of luck early on when it came to, being in position for interceptions. It's not like he was blowing interceptions. There were balls going right through his hand or anything like that. He was asked to do some different things early on because of injuries and so forth. Here's the actual point. Minkah wasn't even close to being Minkah when he did play for the Steelers this season, and they went 10-7. Alex Highsmith, did you notice Alex Highsmith much, let's say, over the last, 8, 9, 10 games? Did you? If you did, help me out. He was solid. He did okay as far as sealing the edge on the run and so forth. But did you see a $14 million outside linebacker on the right edge? Did you? If you did, again, help me out. Cam Hayward, season intensely documented. Everybody knows what went wrong for Cam, and we now know after the fact that he had what he referred to himself as a broken groin, which means he came back way too soon. He knew he was coming back way too soon. He came back to help plug the leaks on the run defense. He did that to his credit. He created almost no splash as a result, which he'd be the first to acknowledge because he wasn't himself. What are we up to now? 3 members of the defense? Who else we got? Who else? You see where I'm going here. If you go to the offensive side of the ball, and I'm not going to start this quarterback thing all over again, but nobody would argue that the Steelers did not get NFL caliber quarterback play out of Kenny Pickett. They certainly didn't get it out of Mitch Trubisky. They went 10-7. This is kind of where I'm going here. This was a deeply flawed team that you rooted for over these past few months. Robustly flawed. Not just in the sense of the guys who were missing, not just in the sense that I didn't even mention all of the inside linebackers going down, but also in the sense that the offense at one point was so pathetic that it was drawing historic comparisons. It still is in some ways. And they went 10-7. Now, you can chalk that up to luck or, the fourth quarter comebacks that occurred early on, some impressive defense that happened in the first few weeks. But what you can't do is dismiss this as a factor when looking ahead to the next season. Take everything that I just mentioned to you and make it even 75% of what you'd want it to be. In other words, Minkah would be 75% of his best self. Alex Highsmith would be 75% of what we're expecting should be his best self. Cam, don't forget about TJ missing the playoff game. Get to the offense. Have yourself an NFL-capable quarterback, and you know who I think that is. Plug up a couple holes on the offensive line. Have yourself a new coordinator, not named Matt Canada. Give him a few months to actually put the new offense in. And if your default is 10-7, if you don't think that 10-7 was built mostly on luck, then shouldn't there be a whole lot of looking forward to next season? That's my point. I don't think you're going to see back-to-back whiffs, for example, from Minkah and Alex. I think you're going to see them come back. I think you're going to see Cam come back more determined than ever. And look, Cam, even at whatever percent, is still a really, really good football player. And I do think you're going to see a more dynamic offense. You should hope that 10 wins is water at its level. When we come back, J1Q. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. LGKG is a personal injury law firm in Western Pennsylvania that represents people hurt in car accidents or who need help with workers' comp or medical malpractice. When the attorneys at LGKG make you a promise, they keep it. They've been keeping promises in our region for over 80 years. LGKG's been AV rated, the highest rating a law firm can receive, and they've been designated super lawyers. That's actually a thing for over 15 years. It's a rare combination. LGKG has offices in Cranberry, Newcastle, Beaver Falls, Butler, and Elwood City. Learn more about them by visiting lgkg.com or by calling 888-842-5454. LGKG. Today's J1Q comes from Todd, who says, hey, Dejan, in a previous pod, you mentioned that Mike Tomlin only has 9 assistant coaches on staff. When I heard this, my mind was blown. Do you know how this number compares to other staffs? I do, Todd, but it's not as simple as that. Most NFL coaching staffs will be in the dozen territory, and you'll see some that go up into the teens. But there are different titles and different roles within each organization. To give you an example, every team has an offensive coordinator. Every team has a quarterback's coach, a running back's coach, a wide receivers coach. There also are assistants, not assistant coaches, but assistants to those individual positional guys. And how many of those you have can affect this number. Also, what you call them can affect this number. So I wouldn't make too big a deal out of this. Mike Tomlin has made no apology, nor has he attempted to keep it any kind of secret over the years, that he believes in a smaller staff. He believes that helps foster an environment of trust, one where you don't have to worry about all these other people and what everybody's doing and who's on whose side. If he has a group that he really believes can make an impact within their individual positional groups, within their individual responsibilities, but also collectively, one thing that you've heard for years about Tomlin, and it's true, it's 100% true, is that he gets everyone involved. If someone who is a low-level defensive or offensive assistant who basically is just responsible for carrying the balls back and forth between drills, if they have an idea, he will hear it. He won't necessarily solicit it. He's not going to go looking for it, and he's not going to have the person standing on the sideline with a headset. but he will hear it. That's been one of his strengths as a leader, according to quite literally everybody who's passed through that building over the years. So I wouldn't take the number as some sort of great big gotcha thing. Also, and important, Arthur Smith's looking for a staff. The information that we have at DK Pittsburgh Sports right now is that desks have been cleaned out. Offices have been cleaned out. The only person we believe who's pretty much guaranteed to be hanging around is Pat Meyer, the offensive line coach. The rest of them, we don't know. We don't know. I imagine that Eddie Faulkner, for example, is on more solid footing than somebody else, has a great relationship as the running backs coach with both Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, also acquitted himself quite well in his role as interim offensive coordinator over those final 4 weeks. But we don't know that. We don't know that. We also don't know the number of coaches or assistants that Smith will want. We don't know if he'll go and get himself a passing game coordinator, given his own tendency to lean hard toward the run. So I would wait until all of this plays out, Todd, before making any kind of grand whatever. Oh my God, they have 9 coaches and the other guys have 17. Let's just see how it goes. I appreciate the question. It's a good one and a fair one. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Steelers, and we're going to do another one of these tomorrow.